Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Winner Circle Sports Betting Podcast. Sean Higgs coming at you. It's Monday, January the 27th. We're wrapping up January, which means we're 56 days away from opening day. Just throwing that out there. Chip Chirimbes, Doug Upstone, always with me on a Monday. Good to see the gentlemen. We'll touch on, there was apparently a football game or two yesterday. We'll touch on that before jumping into some NBA free picks for tonight. But before we get to that, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bells on here on the Winner Circle YouTube channel, so you know each and every day when we put out our NBA like today, or college hoops like tomorrow, or no hockey, but who am I kidding? It's college hoops and NBA until we get to the Super Bowl, kind of like a prop show, whatever we're going to do for that. So it's basketball. Welcome to the basketball channel for the next 2 months. That should be called Winner Circle Basketball. These are our free pick channels, right? This is the free picks. College basketball here, 14-9 with our picks. NBA 20-20. Hope to nice 2-1 day today, hopefully at least at the minimum. But you want the premium stuff, you know where to go. Our sponsor and host, gamblersworld.net, for all of our top plays. Now, I want the free picks to win, but you know when you get to the premium plays, well, they win. We got a leaderboard there. We have Mr. Number 1 NBA Chip Chirimbes, number 2 college hoops myself, number 2 hockey Doug Upstone. We got a leaderboard, records, win or lose, always the truth, no hiding from how we are doing. 3 730 packages, say this all the time. Guaranteed. Show you a profit all the time, or we credit you back. We've added the $69.99 day pass, which is a great deal because a guy like Chip Chirimbes today, who's happened to be on a 9-1 NBA run, he's got 4 NBA games up tonight. Why not get a $69.99 deal? Save yourself some money. I don't know. You won't do that. You'll probably buy all 3 separate games of chips. Whatever. I don't know. We're just trying to help you out, trying to make you guys money. We try to make it easy on you. Season passes, weekly passes, day passes. Get on board today. I'm looking. I see Doug here's got some NHL and college hoops up for today as well. I got a college basketball game loaded up. Again, all the top premium plays are at gamblersworld.net. And I got to stop. I always got to go to the Mr. NBA guy here. I know I always start with Chip, but and I say it every week here. The 9-1 NBA run. I think it's harder than the NFL to handicap because you're putting stuff out early. It's 9 a.m. in Vegas or whatever it is, and you're locked and loaded, and we got NBA guys don't even know if they're gonna shoot up today or get out of bed, and you're still crushing it. How you doing, Chip?
I'm not bad, Sean. Thank you very much. For me, it's a matter of numbers, and more than players and situations as well, and trends. I mean, Doug, I know he plays trends as well, and they're a big part of what we do. And sometimes the beat goes on, and it just keeps working.
Doug Upstone, Mr. Hockey. He's the ice guy. You figure the guy's in Arizona. Like, what do you know about hockey? But apparently, he misses the snow of Chicago because he's killing it on the ice this year. How was the weekend, Doug? What's going on? Good to see you.
Most of the other sports. Well, I'm still hanging in there with the NBA. I think it's right around 60% recently in the NBA. So hanging in there. 46-35 in college basketball. That sounds about right. The last month. Hockey, though, continues to do well. And one thing, no disrespect to Brian Bittler, because he's also doing very well in hockey, but I do have the higher win percentage. I just don't put as many units on them, okay? And with that, so in terms of overall win percentage, I'm basically right at 66%, okay, since October 16th. And so it's been a very good season. And I say I got another play up tonight, and looking to cash again in college basketball. And I am very interested to talk about those 2 NFL games, I have to admit, because I have something on my mind. And I'm not the only one that's thinking that, by the way. I don't know if you guys are. We'll find out.
Yeah, there was 2 games we'll talk about tomorrow. You mentioned Biller, because I'm the same way. Like, in hockey, he's got you there. He's on the league. He's 48-34. You got 20-something more games and higher win percentage. Comes to college basketball, he's number 1 in college basketball, 75-49, 60%. He's got me a win percentage. Hello, I'm 210 and 158 and 57%. No, but again, it's how you rate the games. I'm kind of like a flat. I do a lot of games. I'm flat. I don't kind of, hey, here's a 10, here's a 5. I feel we've talked about this. I don't even like saying how well I'm doing. Like, I'm doing well. Look at the leaderboard, because I feel like here come the gambling guys are going to come strike me down like Zeus is going to shoot like lightning bolt on me, and I got a 4-22 run. I don't want to do that. So, but listen, Biller's been fabulous. I mean, all of us, we're excelling somewhere, and when we're doing good, a la in your hockey, you're kind of leaning more towards hockey than something else. I know me, I'm going to kind of lean towards college basketball. It's been so well for Chip. A lot more NBA than listen. I can't make fun of this college basketball. I mean, he's number 3 in the money college basketball, 58%. The guy's hoops. We got to change your nickname here from Chip to Hoops. But we're gonna pivot out of hoops and pucks. We'll get back to the NBA. 2 games yesterday. We'll start with the early game. We know the guy behind the screen there, Mr. Oz, is happy about the Eagles dropping a 56 spot. Who saw that one coming? I did not. I had the Commanders and I had the Chiefs yesterday, so I ended up splitting, which makes sense because I think I'm 95 and 88 on the year, like a 500 kind of year anyway. I was not expecting a total blowout, but you get some sure fields and the game gets out of hand. There you go. Maybe I should have thought more of Washington with their 4 or 5 straight road games, all playoff games on the road. Here comes a rookie quarterback, although I did not think he was the problem yesterday. Hurts looked 100%. I thought he didn't look good the last 2 weeks. I'm like, you know what? Washington playing with house money. I'll take a shot. They look really good. I mean, Barkley just keeps breaking one for 60-something yards. One last point on this game, and I'm going to throw it to you, Doug. The Giant fans, I did a little show last night, and people were like, oh, if we had Barkley, the best thing you did was get rid of him. Remember, you got rid of him because he wasn't healthy. You got rid of him, and it finally dawned on you to get rid of Daniel Jones, your quarterback. So that helps you as a franchise. Don't say, oh, if we had him. No, you still would have been garbage because you had no offensive line and no quarterback.
It's not garbage.
No, the Giants.
With the Giants, he was in garbage. He had nothing to play with.
I said the Giants would be garbage. The Giants still wouldn't go anywhere.
They are.
They won 3 games with him, Chip. They won 3 games. How good was he over there? The team wasn't good.
He wouldn't have helped them this year at all. No question about that.
He helped them, but they shipped him out. They were trash, and they moved on from their quarterback. And hopefully they do well down the road because league will be better if the New York teams. I didn't know the New Jersey teams are better. They'd be better for the league. But Doug, we'll start with you here with the Washington and Eagles games. What did you think of it, and your takes?
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the passing of Hurts was just on target, basically all day long. He looked very comfortable in the pocket, and then you could also see where his injuries have subsided. At least up to this game, because when he took off running, he had that. Because to me, he runs kind of like a deer. Just the legs are kind of a little bent when he runs a little bit, and he just kind of glides when he's running. And so that showed to me, like from a few years ago when they went to the Super Bowl, that he was healthy yesterday, and it showed in his overall performance. I thought they looked great. That defense, I don't know. I still have some question marks about that defense. That they do get some turnovers. I know, they don't. Fangino doesn't like to, blitz much, but I don't know. I just didn't think it was. I thought they could have played better defensively with a little more of an attacking style because let's face it, Jaden Daniels puts the ball on the nose, when he throws the ball. Yeah. So he's very good. So I mean, they played great. And my only regret in the game is that I should have paid what you just said, more attention to the 4 straight road games because I knew it. I just didn't have a conscious effort. And then as it turns out when I was on Twitter yesterday, I didn't know the answer, but the answer was the teams playing 4 straight road games and playing in the playoffs, 0-7, 1-5-1. Not a large sample size, nonetheless, something that would, and I wasn't going to, come into Gambler's World at, 2 hours before the game, put something in thinking that anything's going to happen other than maybe picking up a win.
Victor mentioned that on Friday because it was like whatever they were 0-7, and the flip side with the Eagles being home for I think 4 or 5 in a row was like undefeated 5-0 or 6-0 in that kind of spot, which makes sense because that's going to be a 1 seed in the playoff anyway, or 2. You know what I'm saying? That's going to be a top team and versus a wild card team. So it is what it is. Chip, what do you thought about that game yesterday? Well, it looked pretty good.
I thought the 4th game in a row on the road was a big factor. I did sweep the weekend, second Sunday in NFL that I did sweep. But, it's an awful lot to ask on Daniels. I mean, I like their running back Robinson, but they were kind of exploited. They had their weakness defensively, and Philadelphia took advantage of that. Barkley, these 60-yard touchdown runs are really tough to beat, and you can see him just changing gear in a heartbeat. And he smells the goal line. He looked like he was looking for the end zone when he was 50 yards away and still had two guys to break on one side. He just had that instinct right now, and looks like one of the best backs we've seen. And like we said, playing with the Giants didn't help, being injured, and he did have some great years there, but.
Yeah.
Overall, he was knocked up a little bit. It's a great opportunity for him, and I'm glad to see him that. Before we move to the other game, I have one thing to say about the NFL, and I just can't believe that I saw this, and I can't believe this is a rule in the NFL. You're kicking an extra point from the 15-yard line. If you're offside, it's a 14-yard penalty. Why can an offside be 14 yards? If the team all of a sudden moves the ball to the 1 and they can go for 2 points, that's a total injustice. They have to move the ball either to the 10 or move it to the 5 or whatever. But taking an extra point try from the 15-yard line and moving it to the 1 and giving them now the option to go for 2, I think that's absurd. I think it's ridiculous. We saw it in the second game last night.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck is happening here? Like,
Come on. I might as well sit there on every extra point from the 15, just try and draw the other team offside. And if they don't come offside, so I kick it 5 yards back. If they do come offside, I go for 2 from the 1. I mean, 14-yard penalty for an offside. I like to see some rule changes coming in the off season about that one.
Well, how about the other one with the number 4 jumping offsides? 4 times in a row for Washington? And they kept moving the ball on the 2-point conversion, like 6 inches at a time, closer to the. And then there's supposedly a rule that they could actually just give them the conversion. Yeah, I'd never heard of that.
Absolutely.
But I can see it. I mean, you know what? If a team is that stupid or have a player that ignorant to keep doing that, well, I mean, you can't. I mean, it disrupts the game. It's just absurd.
And all these losing teams had unsportsmanlike penalties in key situations, which extended drives and which meant points in all of these games. It was just their football mentality's got to get better.
I got a little cough coming on. Excuse me there. We are recording.
And the second game, I don't know how anyone would think that Buffalo's going to beat Kansas City. It just doesn't happen.
So I'm gonna start with you here on Chip here with the KC and the Bills game. Kansas City is now 17-3 in the playoffs, straight up with Mahomes and Andy Reid. They are something ridiculous. I think 14-3 ATS in the playoffs. As much as you can't take the Chiefs here. They don't cover. Yeah, in the playoffs, it is the complete opposite because they are a covering machine. And we talked about this last week. Last year, I had the Bills at home. I had the Ravens at home. I had the Niners in revenge. And I took donuts across the board. This year I said, no, I'll take Kansas City. I had them at 8, winner. Had them at the pick 'em there, 122, winner. Super Bowl. You mentioned the line here. It's 2. And I'm kind of shocked. It actually went up from like a 1.5 because when a team scores 56 points, you think everybody's going to run to them. The total's sitting at 59.5. And we'll dive into this more next week with the stuff. But it's an interesting line. I'm shocked it is what it is, but the line,
you expect Philly to be favorite? You expect Philly to be favorite?
Maybe just a pick, but you can't. I mean, people are going to be betting the Chiefs. Let's be honest. I mean, look at the line. It tells you the Chiefs are winning this again by a field goal. It's 38-35 all over again, or probably not. The 49.5 tells me I think this game's going to be like a 24-20 kind of game. I think, but
again, they win, they not cover.
No, they have. Would they win by 1?
Why not? The Giants beat Buffalo.
Yeah, they were a sizable underdog. That wasn't a 1-point spread in that game.
Well, it still was the margin of victory. It was a 6.5-point number. You're right.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's different. I mean, it's the Giants winning outright as an underdog. If you're a 1.5-point dog, I mean, I say this to people all the time. I don't care what sport you're. You're taking a 1.5-point underdog. Like, yeah, they're going to lose by 1, and I got this one in the bag. Who's thinking? You're taking a 1.5-point dog, you think they're winning outright, or even a 2-point dog, even 2.5. You think they have a shot to win it.
Today is the 35th anniversary of that Super Bowl win, so I just thought I'd let you know. By the Giants over Buffalo, they controlled the ball 41 minutes.
Yeah, and Buffalo, you think you score a point a minute, you have a shot of winning. Nope.
But
let's go back to the KC Bills game. and we'll go through this pretty fast. But what were your final takes or your final thoughts on Bills getting it done, or excuse me, not getting it done versus Kansas City? Chip?
Well, the not getting it done also applies to the referees. Okay. And I said here last week, I haven't bought into the Kansas City gets all the breaks, even though I've seen, any number of different things. I thought it was just part of the game. But at this point, you know what? I'm starting to lean that way. Okay. I mean, the ball, the two guys go up for the ball, comes down, it hits the ground, and it moves. The ball moves. Okay. What have we heard? The ball can hit the ground, but if it moves, it's an incomplete pass. They show it to you. Everyone can see it. And really, in terms of possession, I'm not really sure who had possession anyways when the ball hit the ground. And they called it a complete pass. Okay, so that's one thing. Then the other one, of course, was the Josh Allen trying to rush for the first down on fourth down. I didn't see it at first. I saw it later on. The guy that was to the far sideline away from the camera was the official that was looking at the ball. He could see the ball looking at Allen. He could see Allen's face mask, and he could see the ball, and he could see he crossed the line. The guy from the other side, okay, who overturned the call, if you will, or was somehow granted the ability to make it, he had no view of it, and yet he's the one that made the call. And to me, this is part of the point of why have all-star official crews. Okay, why? Because I don't know this at all, but I'm gonna say that the guy whose call they took was the one. He has more seniority in the league than the guy on the other guy, so they went with it. How you can go to replay and not see that, I don't know. And how is it that the NFL, tennis for 15 years? The tennis has a ball that's going 75 to 140 miles an hour. Okay. They can put up a line. They can show a ball hitting a line that is in or out. We have a ball that is essentially not moving, that you can't put a sensor in to show where a line is. I mean,
where would the sensor be in the ball?
Billions of dollars, and they can't figure out how to do this.
Where would you put the sensor down? Where would you put the sensor in the ball?
Wherever you can.
No, I'm just saying if it's in the middle of the ball,
a sensor,
then it's not the tip of the ball.
It's going to be almost weightless. So in theory,
I understand that, but where would it be? Like you'd say, well, this is the front of the ball. Well, the ball's handed off, it's turned around, so now the sensor's in the back. You can't put it. If you put it in the middle.
Yeah, I don't know where you do it. I haven't thought that far ahead, but I do know that the absurdity of this to me is that, I believe me, Kansas City deserved to win the game. They had the better coaching, had the better game plan, and they made the plays when each team had the ball, their last two possessions. Kansas City made all the plays, Buffalo didn't. It's just the point of that still changed the potential outcome of the game by having two default calls that were absolutely wrong. So, and I thought, Sean, you were on board with this, but I'm not. I'm beginning to question why do we have instant replay then? Because what's the point of instant replay? Get the call right.
Go ahead, Chip. Chip's chomping at the bit.
Well, I'm just thinking about what my dearly departed and good friend Larry Ness used to say continuously. It was that the officials are there to see to it that the players have nothing to do with the outcome of the game. And this is what I'm hearing right now. I mean, I remember my father saying, well, when they're going to have the instant replay, they're going to be able to adjust the plays or get it right. And I said, well, they'll only get it right when they want to. They don't have to do it every time. I mean, we saw playoff games where there were interceptions before the ball hit the ground and they were ruled incomplete. And video evidence, not enough of it sometimes. And they can do anything they want, and they do anything they want.
The Worthy was not a catch. I know, because if that somehow catch, then you took a Super Bowl away from Dallas, who would have won in Green Bay and would have went on to win a Super Bowl. I mean, that guy, he took two steps, rolled over, came up with the ball. No. I mean, that's an incomplete. This is a catch. Ridiculous. Also, though, there was still time that they could have got three. They could have done something else in that. You don't know.
It wasn't scripted that
towards
way.
the end of the first half. They might have got a field goal. It changed a little bit, but again, if they get 3 instead of 7, Buffalo does X instead of Y anyway.
Yeah, you never know what goes forward.
Exactly. You don't know. It's 3 points as opposed to 7. Maybe it's a pick 6. You don't know what happens there. But again, that was early enough. It was halftime. Josh Allen, if you can't get a half inch clearly, no matter who you are, whether it's in a championship game, regular season, if it's that close, I'm telling you, and I've been on spots where I've lost. I don't deserve to win. If my guy can't, if it can't be that obvious where it's like, well, look at that bad spot. You know what? You don't deserve to win. If you can't get a half a yard or
If he had
6
made
inches,
it, the officials would have called the procedure penalty, and they would have brought it back anyway. They weren't going to make it.
I'm not a replay guy.
But here's the thing: above and beyond that, when you have two officials coming in, one is running on one side of the 40-yard line marker, and the other one is running on the other side. Okay, and I don't know how long the strip is. What is it? 3 inches? The strip? I don't really know. Say it's 3 inches. So I mean, you got two guys coming in on opposite sides, looking at the same play. And I know that, and this isn't a political thing where people are on opposite sides all the time. I mean, that's just, it makes no sense to me. So that's why the NFL, and I mean, this has been a point of contention for me all year. They have been doing this. This started like 3 years ago, where they try and mark every single ball, not where the ball's down. They try and mark it as close to the line marker that they can. Because when do you see them? Let's go back 5 years. 5 years ago, and certainly before then, you would see what, 3 to 5 measurements a game? Any game you were watching?
Yeah.
At best, you'll see one in any game you watch anymore, at best. And because they made a rule change to try and make it easier for the officials to get the ball closest to the yard marker so that they could have a visual impact to make quicker decisions and not bring out that technology, with a chain bouncing around and that bull crap, So
I will take the chains over replay. I don't like replay in baseball. I don't like automatic strike zone. The human element, if we're going to go back in time, who knows if the Yankees are going to win 7 in a row or UCLA or all these kind of, you don't know, right? People, it's a bang, bang play and you live with it. You live with it. You slow things down to nanoseconds. Look at that. Oh my God. I mean, come on, man. That's ridiculous. It literally changes history. If we go back in time, we change history. Do the Niners stop the Bengals on the 1 yard line in 1980? You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't know this. Like, I don't like the replay. I mean, blatant kind of stuff. I want the human element. We're all people here. People make mistakes. The guy, who's the Tiger pitcher? Galarraga, who was throwing a no-hitter, perfect game, and the ump called him. Yep. He hesitated. He didn't know what to call. He wanted to call him out, but he called him safe by accident. I know.
He was never the same.
You know what I'm saying? I don't like that. It changes. Franco Harris. How many times we see replay? It will change the course of history based on slowing it down. And how about NBA replays? Are you kidding me with that crap? At the end of a game?
Yeah. Well, that's just for the officials to get their face on TV and so they can hear them talk. I mean,
I don't like replay. Let them play. If it needs to be, not every single second.
I like replay. I want replay to be accurate. That's all. I don't think I'm asking for much. If it's what it is you see on the field and there's something that shows it that, I mean, conclusive is it's an odd word to use, and it's obviously it was intended to do that, but I don't agree with it at all. And if you can't get calls right, then what's the point of having it? That's my thing. And especially in the biggest of games where you can't get it right. That's absurd to me. Anyways,
let's move to some NBA.
Let's talk some NBA basketball.
Poor Chip with a scarf on. Did you guys get a gift set together? You kept the sweater and Chip got the scarf? Did that happen?
Something like that, yes. Well, it rained here. This morning it rained here for the first time in 155 days. And for those keeping score at home, that's over 5 months. So.
It's rained here for 3 days in a row for me. I've had 3 straight days of rain. My grass has never been greener in January. We're going to look at some NBA here. Listen, last week was a 20-minute rant on the Hall of Fame. Now you got 24 minutes on replay, the Chiefs, and the Eagles. So be it. We'll give you a nice 9-minute rundown of some NBA. Free picks here. Like button on Winner Circle. You want the premium stuff, from Doug, Chip, myself, gamblersworld.net. Doug Upstone, Clippers, Suns. We're going to start with the late game because this is like I know Chip's got a good game in Houston, Boston, but I want to start with the late game here because this one's kind of interesting. The Clippers, 2-point favorite here now, 224.5 against the Suns. Suns won twice way back in October. Clipper team, 20-16 ATS. I'm shocked that they're that good. I am shocked because George is gone. You've had iffy kind of Kawhi, sometimes there, sometimes not. They're a little banged up. I was looking at the injury report. I'm like, all right, should they be favored on the road? The Suns, last I checked here, everybody's playing for the Suns. It's not a questionable deal. It's the guys are here. The three-headed monster should be playing, and they're an underdog. Thoughts?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's a reason for it because the odds makers know that the Clippers have a better team. The Suns have better individual talent, but you know what? That doesn't always work out, does it? So
Nope.
You have cohesiveness. Okay, I've been talking about this anytime with the Clippers. I mean, that's what this whole team's about. They're a better unit collectively. Now they have Kawhi Leonard back. Real easy point here. The defense in defensive points per possession, Clippers number 2, Suns number 25. That's easy. The Clippers offense is improving now with Kawhi Leonard back. Suns have won 4 of their last 5. They put Bradley Beal to the bench. They got Nick Richards now, their starting center, but they won 4-5. Who did they beat? Well, they beat Washington twice. Woohoo! And then also let's throw in the Brooklyn. Hey, Brooklyn's been playing great basketball, right? Well, the one legitimate team they beat was Detroit on the road. Clippers, 15-3 against the spread off 2 consecutive home wins and 18-4 off 3 consecutive home games. They are the choice. Give me them minus the 2. And as a bonus, an extra added bonus today only, Monday, today only, Norm Powell, the forward guard for the Clippers, over 21.5 points. He's done it 8 of his last 9 games.
There you go. Bonus player prop, Powell over 21.5 points. Official side pick here, Doug Upstone, Clippers minus 2 over the Suns. Chip Chirimbes, thoughts on Clippers and Phoenix?
I hate being involved in any contest with the Clippers because even as Doug said, when Kawhi Leonard's back, he's still not back. You never know when he's playing, when he isn't. But I know who's playing now, Doug. I mean, where's this guy been? His name's James Harden. I didn't even know he was playing with the Clippers. Came up with 40 points last time out. And if he's back to controlling the ball, the Clippers might be a force. Really an enigma. Why are the Suns an underdog at home? You said it, Doug. And my instinct was to take Phoenix here. After hearing you and you're making sense about it, I'm probably on the wrong side here, even though I did give you guys the Suns. It's not a game I would use because with the Clippers, like you said, who's in, who's out. When Kawhi Leonard is playing, I don't know if he is or he isn't. And then when he does play, he has such an impact on the game. And yet sometimes they still don't get there. So, Doug, I'm going to have to go against you, but it isn't a tough choice at all because I hate playing games on or against the Clippers.
There you go. That's right. I look at the line. It's like you have to take the Clippers. It's one of those spots where you see the line. It's like, ooh, why are they a home dog with the better quote unquote players with your Durant and Booker and Beal? But as Doug eloquently pointed out, it's a team game, folks, and you see this. You see the records reflect that. Official play, Doug Upstone, Clippers minus 2. Chip Chirimbes probably got a nice, the story of the year probably in the NBA. The Houston Rockets, 30-14. The youngsters have turned it up, 26-17 ATS, catching 6.5 versus the Celtics. I'm seeing if that line's moving. Still 6.5, has not moved a bit, 222. Boston, we've talked about them before here. They kind of make the free pick show because they're the defending champs. 18-27 ATS, you're the champs. So it's going to be a little inflated line, and you kind of go through the motions. You're hungover from the win. It's blah blah blah. Porzingis said it the other day. He's like, well, we haven't really been, the lion on the court. We kind of play down a little bit. Do I want to lay 6.5 with the Celtics? Do they even think of the Rockets as a peer, even though the Rockets have the record? Is it too easy to take Houston here, Chip?
It very well may be. I did have Houston 2 games in a row, back to back over the Cavaliers this past week, and the very last time out on Saturday as a megabuck play, which are now 20-7 in NBA action so far. Both these teams almost exact same record until you start evaluating the ATS against the points, where you said Houston 26-17 and the Celtics a feeble 18-27. But as Porzingis said it, and I would throw it at you guys, that I think Boston's going to be going through the motions even after the All-Star game for a month or two. They know what it takes, and it takes playoff wins. And right now, they know how good they are. They're going to have to contend with Cleveland down the line to make it to the finals. But I still think Boston's the side. I think, they had a little doldrums. I think coming home here, they see the Rockets as an upstart club, and I think Boston might be the side here. They've won 8 of the last 9 meetings. I'll take the Celtics.
Celtics -6.5 for Mr. NBA, Chip Chirimbes. 6. I got to say,
I think the public's going to be with it. I think there's going to be a lot of Boston money, and I usually don't like to do that, but I think that they're the side here. Houston's been playing so well. Taking 6.5 seems like a bargain, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'll be square and swat of points here. Doug, what do you think?
Yeah, well, one thing I will say, I don't watch a ton of NBA basketball, but I watch enough. And Celtics, I went and looked it up. This is my least favorite defending champion. Okay, that I can think of. I'll go back to the 2011 Dallas Mavericks. I almost said Cowboys. Dallas Mavericks. Didn't like that team because they should have won it a couple times prior and they didn't. And then they won it with that team. Toronto, not too much either. Wasn't a big fan of Toronto, but but not for the reasons. The same reasons. I mean, this team, Boston, plenty of talent. They're not overrated. Okay, but it's maddening from a regular season standpoint to look at this team as defending champion. They're taking so many threes, okay? And in their last 11 games, they have shot below 41% 5 times. 3 times they've shot over 50%. So their efforts are just all over the place from that standpoint. And it has nothing to do with the competition. I mean, it's just been randomness. So here's the thing, though. Boston is a bad matchup for Houston. Okay, that's part of the problem. Their size, their defensive prowess. Houston not being a great offensive team. Houston's lost 4 of the last 5. Now that one of the losses, the longest one away, was when Houston was a poor team still. But they have lost those 4 games by anywhere from 9 to 32 points. I'm in complete agreement with both of you. Boston is the side.
All right. Boston. The Celtics -6.5. It's the official play of the show here, folks. What are we going to do? I'm not, it is what it is.
You're saying it incorrectly. Isn't it Boston?
Boston. Yeah, if I'm from Boston. I'm saying it the Jersey way. Boston. Not bad. I'm going to throw out some. I can't stand Boston. I got nothing. I don't even eat New England clam chowder. That's how much I hate Boston.
Now. Come on now, Sean.
The Red Sox, I had a Yankee.
This is part of America, and, you have to accept that.
Thursday, I'll come in here Thursday. Thursday, I'll go into my wedding album, and I'll pull out my wedding from – I had a nice Yankee ice sculpture on my wedding. It was a Friday night wedding because it's expensive in Jersey to have a wedding, $20,000 for food at an event. That's just the food. That's not counting.
And that was just your portion.
Yeah, that was just my portion. Baby lamb chops. I got a nice ice sculpture Yankees, and that Friday night was when the Red Sox pulled off their 0-3 comeback. So I can't stand the Red Sox. We took the ice sculpture outside and we threw it off the back bay in the kitchen. Yeah. So I'll always hate the Red Sox, and that's just the way it is. Boston. I don't like tea, so then they threw tea in the bay. I don't know why you're messing up. I like the crabs, so you ruin my crabs. No. Anyway, that's my Boston hate for you there.
His rant.
Celtics official show pick -6.5 Chip Chirimbes. LA Clippers -2 official show pick for Doug Upstone. Again, these are the free picks here on Winner Circle for a premium action. Chip has 4 NBA and some college hoops tonight. Doug with some college hoops and NHL. GamblersWorld.net for the premium action. Go get it. Daily passes work out today when there are multiple games up for the cappers. So go get that for $69.99. My game tonight from the world's most famous arena, MSG. Who doesn't love MSG? They took it out of Chinese food. Loaded up. We were fine. Everything was great in the 80s having MSG. I love the Chinese chicken wings. They're fabulous. Give me some boneless rib tips. I'll take it. Pork fried rice, yes. Knicks laying 3.5 here to Memphis. I'm taking the Knicks. I'm loading up on the MSG here. I look at this 3.5 kind of like you look at the Clipper game, Doug. Memphis won 6 in a row, 8 of 10. Probably the better team. I'm not a huge Knick guy. I know they got some wins. They beat the Bucks. Where are their marquee wins over like elite teams? They beat up on bad teams. They got to win over so-so squads. Right here, Memphis, I think, a pretty good top 2 or 3 team out of the way. I think you got the Thunder. I think you got the Nuggets. And I think Memphis is probably going to be in that mix of could be getting to a conference final there. But I look at this 3.5, and I think it's way easier to take the Grizzlies here. I'm going to take the Knicks. I'm going to lay 3.5 with the home team here. I'm going to liken it to what Doug was saying about the Clippers. You look at the line for a reason, like, oh, it doesn't make too much sense. This does not make sense to me. I think Memphis is the better team. I'm not going to grab the 3.5. We're taking the New York Knickerbockers at home minus 3.5. My official show pick. We are 20-20 in the show. It's not sexy. We're breaking even. We're trying to get winners every day, but I got to tell you how we're doing here. I tried to be honest here. Chip, what do you think about the Memphis and the Knicks here?
Well, these teams have almost the same record. I mean, 31-15 for Memphis. They're 1 game ahead of the Knicks. 28 and 12 and 16 to the over. The Knicks have won the last 2 meetings. Memphis had won the previous 4. Knicks have won the last 3 games out. The Knicks are 8-9 against playoff teams so far this year, and I don't know if it's because of say the meshing of the new players coming in with Towns or whatever. They've had some spurs here, some periods where they just didn't play well at all. They're coming off where they're playing pretty good right now. I think the 3.5 is a very short number. I think it's a short number for the Knicks at home, and I'd be inclined to play against them here because as Memphis and Jean Moret, by the way, that's the guy the Knicks wanted so badly, and they weren't able to get him. And he's certainly one of the more exciting players in all of the NBA. And him and Wembanyama, boy, I just love watching those 2 guys.
I don't love that Chip's against me here because he's been excellent. But Doug, what are you going to do? How are you going to be a tiebreaker here?
Well, I'm not. I'm going to let you guys just have your own separation on this one because, as it turns out, I usually I don't finalize my card until the morning because I do look at some of the injury stuff and that. So I actually have an official pick in Gambler's World. I'm just going to do the write-up literally when I get done with this. So instead, I have something else. A Karl Towns sighting on rebounds. Okay, he's averaging 13.9 this season. Which is number 2 in the NBA. His total is 13.5 for over/under on this one. In 4 of his last 7 games, he's come up short on that one, and he's going up against the number 2 rebounding team in the NBA in the Memphis Grizzlies. So I'm going to go Karl Towns under 13.5 for rebounds.
Under a couple player props here from Doug on him. We're going to call him Doug Propstone. Under cat rebounds 13.5. Powell for the Clippers over 21.5 points. There you go. Little bonus plays here, prop wise. We like to see that. Our thoughts on Ribby props when baseball comes, but we got some props for you here. And he can't be the tiebreaker. He's being diplomatic and going player prop. That's fine.
Oh, no, I have a side. I'm just not going to tell you who it is.
You got to tell. Fair, you got to tell us. I want to know how fair. But again, show picks, free picks. I like the Knicks minus 3.5. Doug Clippers minus 2. Chip Chirimbes is on the Celtics at home minus 6.5. And there's your Monday trifecta. Gentlemen, thanks for spending some time with me. We'll see you later on in the week. Everybody watching the show, thanks for tuning in. Back tomorrow with some college hoops action for you. Good luck, everybody. Bye-bye.